Hello. Oh, sorry. There. We just hurt our ears a little bit.
Okay.
Hopefully not everyone else's.
I'm pretty sure everyone in the world heard that. Hi, Paula and Kimberly and Ruth. How's everybody doing today? Welcome into our Wednesday live. We like to come live every single Wednesday. Hi from South Carolina. Ooh, I love South Carolina and North Carolina.
I would like to go there.
Yes, we should go on vacation. Well, hello and welcome. This is Sarah.
Hello.
I'm Aubrey, and we are stitching something really cool.
Yes, this is our Oakleaf Quilt section. And this is actually drawn from a section in our All Good Things quilt, which is the larger quilt that you can see a portion of behind us. So here's our Oakleaf section, if I could say that word. And today we're going to stitch out the center block together.
So these are the same thing.
Yes.
They're just two different colorways. And I think that that's so fun. I love it when people make things in different fabrics than what we used to. And it just looks totally different.
Yeah. And today I'm using kind of a traditional colorway. So there's the oak leaf applique in the center. So I'm going to make a green leaf. But I think the fun thing about this particular block itself is you could really do any color. You could have blue leaves. I think it would look cute. I mean, our sample right here has blue and green and red. I think there are a lot of different colorways that you could do this in, and it would be really fun.
I also think this border is really pretty. Just look at even just the border around that. The other thing that's really cool about this design is if you get just the Oakleaf quilt section, if you just want the section, the full quilt is amazing too. But if you decide on just this, you're also going to get this buffalo plaid border.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's included in each of the sections. So you can see it around here. This isn't fabric. This is part of the design.
Yes.
So I think that's awesome too. All right. I guess I should share with you guys that we do have a giveaway today.
Okay.
Did you change that for me?
I think so.
Okay.
I hope so.
Let me double check. Okay. Yes. All right. So our keyword today is demo. We love to do demos. We love to show you guys this technique over and over. In fact, if you're new here, we would love to know that too. Is this the first time you're catching a demo of ours? And then either way, type the word demo if you've given StreamYard permission, and we will pick somebody for a $10 store credit. I'm going to sneeze.
Bless you.
Sorry. Okay, should have made the keyword allergies. But if you're ready, we can.
Do you want to talk about this first?
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
Are you talking about this or this?
This.
Okay. Yes. So actually, you should talk about this because you gave me the tips and I just put it in the document.
So what Aubrey's holding is our Quilt in the Hoop tip sheet. Say that 3 times fast, right?
Yeah.
It has 5 different tips in there, just with there's things like use battleizer, and it kind of just dives a little bit further into why we think it's awesome and why you would use wool maybe, or why you wouldn't even in some cases use wool. We talk about water soluble thread. We give you a tip for trimming in the hoop, which is essentially always trim on a hard flat surface because you don't want your block to get out of alignment in your hoop.
Yes.
I don't remember the other ones, but we are going to cover all of those tips today as we stitch out our Oakleaf block.
So if you're one of those people who might be new around here, this is going to be a fun little guide for you. It's 3 pages, but there's super simple tips. If you've been around for a while, you're going to be like, yeah, I know all this.
It's still a nice little reminder, I think.
It is. But that's what's really cool about this is once you do a couple, it's easy to become a pro.
Yeah.
But this is great for newbies. It's free on our website and you can download it. In fact, when we switch cameras, I'm going to take you to the website, show you where to find the Oakleaf stuff, and show you where this is. So if you want to download that, you can. Okay.
Okay, one last thing I thought of that I want to say, well, they can see this in this view.
Okay.
Another thing that I like about the Oakleaf section is that you can take these and keep repeating these blocks and really make this as large or as small as you want. Right now I'm making just a 2 block sample, and then adding, this as the border.
That's
this
a good
green
point.
part as the border. So I think that's another fun part of it. If you have done a lot of our 3-block wall hangings and you have a spot in your house for those, this can essentially be transformed into a 3-block wall hanging, which is pretty cool.
A table runner where you could keep this here or not.
Yes. Yeah.
You could.
So many fun things.
There's always a lot of fun things you can do if you get creative, right?
Yes.
So, yeah, that's awesome.
Okay. I'll go to my place. Is that what you want me to do?
Get in your place.
And she'll show you the website and then we'll start stitching.
Yeah. So we're going to do a little demo for you all. But before, as Sarah gets, well, actually, if you want to just get started and when you come to trim, I can do that. Okay. So we'll switch over there and we'll just kind of kick off with the demo for today.
I'll unmute myself over here too. Okay. I think y'all should still be able to hear me. So we're going to stitch out our oak leaf center block. And I already have our battleizer in the hoop, which this is tip 1. Can I see that tip sheet?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. That is tip 1. I just wanted to confirm that I was correct. So battleizer, is our batting and stabilizer combination. So you just have to hoop the 1 piece of battleizer in your hoop and then you can start stitching right on it. And we love battleizer because you can still play with it a little bit. It is lightweight enough that it's not going to make your quilt really rigid or stiff, but it stands up nicely to any dense stitching that you might see in some quilt and hoop designs. So for that first step, hoop your battleizer, then you'll place a water-soluble thread in your needle and you'll sew your placement stitch right onto your battleizer. Act like I have a water-soluble thread in my needle, but I've got a dark green thread so that we can see it on camera. Okay, and then for step 2, this is an optional step, and if you're kind of following along at all with the tip sheet, I'm going to cover tip 2 right now. So step 2 is an optional step to add wool batting if you would like. And I do think wool batting is great if you're using this as a wall hanging because it's going to add a lot of dimension to that quilting that you can see in any of the blocks included in that oak leaf section. Step 2, you would just align your wool batting in the block and then using a water-soluble thread, thank you, Aubrey, using a water-soluble thread in the needle only, you would tack that down with a zigzag stitch. Now let's talk about when you wouldn't want to use wool batting. If I were making this and using it as a runner or a table topper, I definitely would suggest to skip the wool batting because you're going to be placing things on top of it. You don't want it to kind of tip over or anything like that with that extra dimension. Or just put something hot on it and it smashed down the wool. So skip it if you're doing a table topper or runner. So I'm going to skip it for this demo. And now I'm on step 3. So I still have water-soluble thread in the needle. And I will take fabric 1. And I'm going to align this over my block. Over my placement stitch rather. I just like to lift up on all those corners and make sure that it's centered nicely. And then with our water-soluble thread, we're going to tack this down and sew a placement stitch for the applique.
Linda says she has the whole All Good Things quilt and she hasn't started it yet. So that means you have this section and a lot more.
Yes.
And there are so many things you can do with it.
Okay, and real quick, while we're here, I want to touch on tip 4 on that tip sheet, which is to use Vanished Light, which is a water-soluble thread in your needle. And this is probably, I would say, our top asked question.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we use water-soluble thread? So there's a few reasons why we use water-soluble thread. You can see right here, I used, and obviously if I didn't use a water-soluble or didn't have one, I would probably have used a cream thread right here. But you're still going to be able to see that unless you catch these basting stitches perfectly when you're joining your blocks together. So that's why we recommend a water-soluble thread, especially around the edges where we're doing those basting stitches, because then you can just use a damp Q-tip and kind of dab at them and they just disappear. Another reason that I like to use water-soluble thread is because then I don't have to change my thread and the needle with each of the tack down stitches. I can just keep one thread in there and scoot through those tack down stitches. I just said scoot through. We'll go with it. Scoot through those tack down stitches quickly and get everything going on my block and then get to those beautiful quilting parts. I distracted myself when I said scoot through and I pulled my thread out of the needle and I didn't mean to.
Oh.
So
I thought it was time to change that.
Nope. So we'll just get that right back in there. Okay. So that again was tip 4 on why we use water soluble thread. And now we're moving on to step 4, where you still would keep that water soluble thread in your needle. You're going to align fabric 3 over the placement stitching.
Oh, I'm gonna like this. That is pretty.
And then you'll tack down fabric 3.
So to me on camera that looks black.
Oh, does it? It's a dark green.
Yeah.
Black would be fun too, but
Black would be
dark green.
There, I have a question from Rhonda on YouTube. She's asking, should you cut your thread and pull out from the needle when changing thread? And you might have to repeat that. Or you're just pulling it out.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I just pull it up through the needle. I've never had any issues doing that, but if you want to cut it from the top and pull it out through the needle, I'm sure that's fine as well. But yeah, I think either way would be fine. Now that I'm thinking about it, I probably do pull it down through the needle more often, but it really just depends, I'm sure, on your machine.
It is so hard to see what you're stitching on.
Is it?
Fabric.
Well, you'll see it in a moment when I trim it. My thread matches my fabric right now too, so. Okay, so I'm gonna trim up some threads right here, and then we'll talk about trimming our fabric. Okay. So now we've used our pretend water-soluble thread that actually isn't water-soluble thread this time to tack down our fabric. And now we're going to use our Hoop Scissors Mini, which has this nice offset handle and a nice fine point on it to get into any of these grooves. And we're going to trim as close as possible to our tack down stitching. And this is where we're going to cover tip 3. And tip 3 says to trim on a hard, flat surface, because if I'm at my machine and I'm sitting down and I take my hoop off my machine and I put it in my lap and then I'm trimming away, it's going to be really easy to kind of nudge the back of your hoop and shift your block in your hoop. And when you do that, you'll notice that maybe your satin stitches don't line up perfectly, or maybe the tack down for your backing fabric is a little off. And that could be a reason for things like that. So make sure you're leaving it on your cutting table or a nice hard flat surface when you're trimming. So I'm going to trim some of this away. And I think it helps to just kind of apply a little bit of outward pressure on that fabric. I think it kind of helps give a smoother cut. Not a lot, just a little goes a long way. I know my hand is probably blocking everything I'm doing right now. Okay, I'm going to trim some of this away and show you guys how I trimmed this. And then we are going to sneak forward a couple steps. Oh, I don't even think I was on camera for most of that. Whoops.
Well, some of it.
Okay.
Here.
So there you can see kind of how close you need to get to those stitches. And this is a nice open weave fabric, and it's still trimmed up pretty nicely. Mm-hmm. So you'll want to do that with each of those oak leaf sections. And then your next step, which is step 5, is to sew your satin stitching with a thread that matches your oak leaf fabric, which is fabric 3. So I already did that. So we're going to skip past that one, and we're going to move on to step 6. In step 6, we'll talk a little bit about tip 5, which is adding your backing fabric. And this tip is just applies to those of you who like to add your backing fabric in the hoop and tack it down in the hoop. This allows your quilting to show through on the back, and it can look really beautiful if you just follow the 3 tips that we include under tip 5. I'm going to grab the tips because I'll say it wrong if I don't.
She's got pregnancy brain.
Okay, so first you want to turn off your automatic thread cutter, and then you want to match your bobbin. That should say thread. I think I wrote tread there. Sorry, Aubrey. You want to match your bobbin thread to the thread in your needle, and then you'll bring your bobbin thread to the top of your block. And if you do all 3 of those things after you tack down your backing fabric for those remaining steps, it makes the back of your quilt look really as pretty as the front, I think. Okay, I'm going to skip adding the backing fabric for the demo purposes because what I'm making, I'm just going to line the back and then turn it right side out. So I'm skipping that, and we're moving on to step 7. And let me get my instructions. Step 7, you'll place a thread that matches fabric 1, which is my cream background fabric. I'm going to place that in the needle, and then we're going to sew some quilting. Let me trim this. If I can thread my needle, we'll sew quilting.
You can do it.
I'm very hot today. Isn't it hot where anyone else is?
She's pregnant, so everything's weird to you.
I feel like my hands are... Anyway, sorry. Okay, step 7. I got my thread that matches fabric 1 in the needle, and now we're going to sew that quilting. Yes, someone over on Facebook, I can't see your name. You haven't given StreamYard permission, or it didn't work for you. But
it was Catherine.
Okay, Catherine. She said fray check works great on those frayed edges of applique. Yeah, if you have a really open weave fabric and you have a lot of frays after you trim it, fray check does work nicely for that right before you do that satin stitching.
Ginger had a good tip too on there for the same thing.
Is that for Keaton Bond? Yeah, Ginger, I've not done this before, but she said if you use Heat and Bond Light or Fuse Me on the back of the fabric, there will be no fraying. Neither one makes your design stiff. Both stay soft. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so our next step, you can just use whatever thread color works great with your fabrics, and you'll place that in the needle, and we will sew the veins on the leaf. I'm gonna pop a copper colored thread in there.
Oh, you're putting us in the fall mood.
Well, I'll show everyone the border that I'm putting on this is a really pretty fairy frost from Michael Miller. It's a really pretty copper color.
Pretty.
Ooh. My bobbin thread got mad at me for a moment. It always scares me when that happens.
I know you.
Sometimes it recovers okay. Sometimes it doesn't.
Your machine needs a spa day.
It must.
One more leaf. Ginger needs a spa day too.
Okay, so there's just one more step in this design, and this will sew some of the triangle detail around the edge of the block. What I'm going to do though is I'm not going to skip that. I am going to skip stitching that live on the demo, but I stitched one out ahead of time. So we're going to go over to our cutting mat, and I'll show you how to trim up your block and show you what that final step looks like. And I think in the meantime, Aubrey is going to get set up to show you guys the website and where you can snag that tip sheet and where you can find the Oakleaf Quilt section.
Yes. So let me get over there real quick. I'm going to unmute myself.
Okay.
And I'm going to remove that. Okay. So can you guys all see the website? Hopefully you can. I just want to take you and show you where everything that we are talking about today is located. So if you just go to hoopsisters.com, there's an oh my gosh, you and I are struggling. I did this last night too. I was on a live at like 7:30 and I was struggling. We need some more caffeine over here. But there is a tab that says Oakleaf. And if you click right on that, it'll take you to everything that we're showing today. It also shows the big quilt behind us, but I want to make sure that nobody gets confused because we have been showing a sample that looks like different colorways totally than the sample that's in our photography on the website. So this is the Oakleaf download. This is the quilt section. Everything in here, you guys, for the Oakleaf, we do have marked down a little bit too. So I want to say it's like 15%. So feel free to click around in there. We do have this design on CD or digital download, but we also have it within that main quilt. And then we also put that free tip sheet right there. So if you guys are interested in more of those details, Sarah did cover quite a few of them today, but you can download that, add that to your order for free. It's just a PDF document. But I think she's ready to show you some trimming and looks like maybe how she's going to put it together. So let's get back over there and show you what she's got.
I'm going to unmute over here. Okay. So this is the block that we just stitched out. We still have to trim away the battleizer and everything on it, but I just kind of wanted to lay it out how, we'll show you guys how I plan on laying it out. And I think I'll just use this as like a small table runner. It's super cute. I love it. I think it would be really cute too as a larger table runner if you just add more of these center blocks and the border blocks. And the border blocks are really easy and quick to stitch. All you have to do, I think it's like 4 steps, right? So you do your placement stitch, add your wool batting if you're using that, and then tack down your fabric and sew your quilting and you're done. And most of you can probably fit 2 of these border blocks in the hoop at one time, which is what I did. So it was really quick to do.
We got to hold that up because that in person is so beautiful. And I feel like the camera is just not picking it up.
Let me grab this light over here, get a little more light. I think it looks a little bit better on my phone, but we'll see.
I agree, Ginger. Well, I have a lot of favorite parts of this quilt. But Ginger says her favorite part of all good things is that checkerboard border that's all embroidered. Guys, that comes with this.
Yes.
So,
which I didn't know that. That's awesome until earlier when you said that. But yeah, here is the final step that we skipped over at the machine stitches these triangles and then kind of like a little frame in the center. So it's very, very pretty.
It is.
And like I said earlier, I'm doing fall colors and our other sample way is a little more fall as well. I really think this would be pretty in any color.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this block will have another block joined to all 4 sides of it. So we need to remove the bulk, so our battleizer and your backing fabric, if you added it in the hoop, right up to that basting stitch. But we don't want to trim away the fabric on the front. So if you've never seen us use this before, this is our trimmer by George, which is awesome for helping with that because it's got this nice metal lip on the edge to protect the fabric on the front of the block. So to use it, we'll just stand it on that metal edge, shimmy it underneath the fabric on the front of the block, and then lay it flat. Just make sure that no fabric is peeking out right under that metal lip. And then you can do just a little gentle tug on your battleizer to get that metal lip as close to the basting stitch as possible. And then with a 60mm rotary cutter, we'll just trim away that battleizer. I'm going to repeat that on the remaining 3 sides. And now if one side of this block were to have like a binding stitch to it, you would want to leave the battleizer and just trim a 1/4 inch through all layers from that basting stitch. But with how I'm laying this out, it will have a block on each side. So we want that to be removed right up to the basting stitch. Okay, one thing I want to show you too before I finished trimming that. If you're careful with how you trim all of your battleizer scraps, you can use these scraps and kind of butt them up end to end and use just a zigzag stitch in your machine, stitch these together. And this is what we call Frankenbat, because once you have a piece that's large enough, it can just go right back in your hoop and you can stitch another block on it. So that's a great way to use your scraps instead of toss them in the trash. Okay, I've got the back of our block trimmed. And now I'm going to turn my trimmer by George over to the ruler side, and I'm going to trim 1/4 inch from the basting stitch on all sides. Is this the first time that anyone has seen the trimmer by George before? Or are you all pros and you've all seen it demonstrated? We do demonstrate it very often because we think it's very, very helpful to have. Mm-hmm. But here is the center block of our Oakleaf Quilt section. So very fun block to stitch, and you can really get creative and make this almost any size that you want. It's pretty awesome.
It's so pretty. I love that copper fabric.
I know. It's really, really pretty. Like I said, this is from Michael Miller. It's their Fairy Frost line, which has like kind of a little shimmer through it, and it is stunning.
Looks like this is, I think what Mary Jo is saying is, yes, this is her first time seeing it demoed. So
okay, well, hopefully I taught you something.
She said yes for me. Caroline says she owns one. Jacqueline says have it, love it, have it and use it. Can you show the trimmer again? Maybe we can just give one more like quick.
Yeah, I don't have another block to trim right now, but I can just give you a quick little overview. So here's the trimmer. You've got the acrylic ruler side, and then obviously you've got that metal lip on the edge. Hopefully that's showing okay. I think it's getting a little out of focus. But it's got this nice metal edge to it, and that's what protects the fabric on the front of your block. So when you're trimming, you just stand it up on edge and then lay it flat with all of your fabric on the front of your block underneath the ruler side. So it's pretty awesome. We have lots of demonstrations of using our trimmer by George over on YouTube. So if you were wanting to see the full demo again, I'd really encourage you to go over to YouTube and check that out. If I had another block, I'd trim it, but I've got everything trimmed up right now. So yep, go check out YouTube for that demonstration if you'd like.
It's an awesome tool. We say it's one of our must-haves for sure. Okay, so I'm going to switch back over here even with the mic, Sarah.
Okay.
Because we still have a giveaway to do. So I was going to say, Maggie, that was funny. Maggie said, I have 4 trimmers plus 1 trimmer 4.0. And I thought, well, we haven't got there yet. We're still on the 3.0. But that's funny. The cost for the trimmer, I think you're asking about the cost for the trimmer. The trimmer cost is $39. We upgraded it from the original trimmer, which actually I think I have right here, which was this guy right here. It was kind of like a hunk of gutter material, but it still started with that same functionality. Then we upgraded it, and we've upgraded it again. We didn't raise the price from the 2.0 to the 3.0. It's made in the US, $39 worth every penny. I think everyone on here would tell you that. So if that's the cost you're asking for, there you go. If it's the Oakleaf, there's a couple different options, but the design alone is marked down to $40. It's typically $45. So I think we got you covered there. If you guys have other questions, let us know. We do have our giveaway. The keyword is demo. So if you haven't typed that yet, but before we do the giveaway, 3.0 was a game changer. Before the live, Nina came up here and she went like this. And she held up this map of the United States. And I was like, you look like a kindergarten teacher and a geography lesson's coming. What's going on? And she has put a check mark on every state that has someone coming to our open house.
That's pretty cool.
Look at this.
It's a lot of check marks too.
And you probably can't see it from there, but I'm going to tell you, There's 27 states that will be represented
Pretty exciting.
at our open house. And that is probably going to change as we get a little bit closer. So if you don't know, we're having an open house. We've never done an in-person open house before. We always do virtual events and things like that. But Saturday, August 26th from 10 to 3. I feel like you're standing way back here.
Sorry. I didn't feel like there was room.
There's room. Am I taking up the whole campus? But August 26th from 10 to 3, we're all going to be hanging out here. Sarah, myself, Nina, these sisters are going to be here. There's going to be demonstrations going on. We have some like market style shopping going on, some refreshments. So it's going to be a good time. We have a plan for 200 swag bags. And we're in assembly mode right now. So it's going to be awesome. We have people coming from California. We're in Ohio, by the way. This event is in Ohio. We have people from Oregon, California, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, Montana, Texas, Kansas, Missouri, and even more once we get to the eastern, obviously, because
there's
it's in
no
Ohio.
Kentucky or West Virginia, though.
Yeah, come on, Kentucky and West Virginia. You're close. Come on, let's do it. So anyways, I thought this was cute. Are you on here? We also do have someone from Canada who is registered. So I think that's super exciting. And if it's too far for you, we totally get it. We're actually have something in the works for the next week virtually. So just know that.
So that Wednesday live, you got to pay attention, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Unless you're coming in person.
Yeah.
And then you get all the
you've
good
seen all
stuff.
the fun stuff.
I know. I wish you did too, Bonnie. Let's see. Is anyone from Iowa coming? No, no one from Iowa. But we've got people from all over the place. So we're excited for that event. If you are going to come, we do ask that you RSVP on our website, right by that oak. Oh my gosh, why can't
Oak? It's because it's hot out. I swear.
It is really hot in Ohio right now. The Oakleaf tab I showed you, right next to it, there's an open house tab. It doesn't cost anything. It just lets us know so we can plan snacks. I mean, everybody, we need to know those things. So anyways, let's go over do the giveaway.
Let's do it.
And if you guys have questions about anything, now's a really good time to pop those in. But in the meantime, there it is. I'm like, where is it? All right. That's not what I wanted to share. Is it sharing the right thing now? Let's see.
So while she gets that figured out, there are more of you on here than have commented the keyword. So make sure you just comment the keyword demo.
That's not right.
So that you can get be entered in this drawing.
I wish they didn't make you click so many times to get over to there. It would be faster. Okay, now I think we're working. Yes. All right, so here we go. Yeah, there were a lot more of you through 3 different channels, but we got 28 of you in the drawing, so let's do it. So whoever's name pops up, you're going to get $10 in store credit to use however you'd like on our website. Kathy Smith. And she's over on YouTube. So thanks for watching us over on YouTube, Kathy. So in order to claim your $10 in store credit, you will want to email Nina@hoopsisters.com and just let her know that you're our store credit winner for today. And she will pop $10 in your online account at Hoop Sisters and you can go shopping. So congratulations.
Congratulations, Kathy.
So, all right. Thank you all for watching. If you're interested in this design, it is on sale for a little bit longer. So go grab that. And we are coming back next Wednesday to do something else.
That's right.
By the way, if there's something you guys want to see, let us know.
Yeah. Always let us know. If you want to see us stitch something out, we love ideas. And
yeah, absolutely. So if there's something on the website you're dying to see stitched out live, hit us up in the comments. Let us know. We'll probably make it happen for you. So, all right. You need to go sit down, have some water or what?
Yeah.
Said it's hot in here. All right. Bye, y'all. See you later.
Bye.